I will also offer some observations with respect to Pepco's rate filing on Friday. I have not had an opportunity to review it in depth, of course, but I have been thoroughly briefed with respect to it. And let me just share some observations with you. It is a little like Groundhog Day. This is very similar to a rate filing they made approximately a year ago. That was rejected approximately 6 months ago, and many of the elements are there in this filing again. There are three major components to their filing. They've asked for a $60 million plus rate increase. They've asked for an increase in their return on equity, and they've asked for a Grid Resiliency Surcharge. Let me go through each one of them. Basically, I would say to you that the rate increase request is suspect, that the return on equity adjustment is unwarranted, and the Grid Resiliency Surcharge is unjustified. Taking them one at a time, the rate increase request, in the past, let me back up for a moment. To be clear, Pepco is entitled to recover in its rates those expenditures that the Commission finds to be used and useful and prudently expended. In the past, Pepco has sought recovery for expenditures that were not eligible for recovery. That is why in the past the Commission reduced its request of approximately the same amount to $18 million. So my expectation is that there are elements of this filing that the Commission will find not to be appropriate for rate recovery at this time. With respect to its return on equity request, it has argued in effect that its return on equity currently is below the industry norm. And that is true. It is below the industry norm. And it is also true that its performance is below the industry norm. From my perspective, its financial returns should be directly linked to its performance. And while there have been signs of progress, I don't believe those signs of progress warrant at this time an increase in its return on equity. And finally, with respect to the Grid Resiliency Surcharge, that is a form of automatic tracker. It is basically said to us that, folks, you all want us to accelerate our work on improving the grid. And that is true. We do want them to accelerate their work on improving the grid. And they said to us that the only way they will do that is if we provide them an automatic tracker which avoids a prudence review, because that is how utility rates are established traditionally. I consider this to be a form of regulatory ransom. That is, that we will only do this if you provide us this extraordinary rate recovery mechanism. I believe they should accelerate their work. And I don't believe they have demonstrated that they are incapable of going to the financial market and getting the capital they need to accelerate this work. And they should accelerate this work. They owe it to this community to accelerate this work. So, those are my